Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Chapter 2. The Pool of Tears. "Curiouser and curiouser," cried Alice. She was very surprised, so for a moment she forgot how to speak good English. "Now I am growing like the biggest telescope ever. Goodbye, feet." When she looked down at her feet, she could hardly see them, they were so far away. "Oh, my poor little feet, I wonder who will put your shoes and stockings on now, dears. I am sure I will not be able to. I will be much too far away to care about you. You must manage as well as you can." "But I must be kind to them," thought Alice, "or maybe they will not walk where I want to go. Let me think. I will give them a new pair of boots every Christmas." And she kept planning how she would do it. "They must go by the carrier," she thought. "And how funny it will be, sending presents to my own feet. And how strange the address will look. Alice's right foot, Esquire, hearthrug, near the fender, with Alice's love. Oh dear, what nonsense I am saying." Just then her head hit the roof of the hall. In fact, she was now more than 9 feet tall. She quickly took the little golden key and hurried to the garden door. Poor Alice! She could only lie on one side and look into the garden with one eye. But getting through the door was more impossible than ever. She sat down and began to cry again. "You should be ashamed of yourself," said Alice, "a big girl like you." And she was right to say this. "Crying like this. Stop at once, I tell you." But she still went on, crying a lot of tears, until there was a big pool around her, about 4 inches deep and reaching halfway down the hall. After a while, she heard small steps in the distance, and she quickly dried her eyes to see what was coming. It was the White Rabbit coming back, dressed very nicely. He had a pair of white kid gloves in one hand and a big fan in the other. He was hurrying along and talking to himself. "Oh, the Duchess! The Duchess! Oh, she will be very angry if I made her wait." Alice felt so worried that she was ready to ask anyone for help. So when the rabbit came near, she began in a quiet, shy voice. "If you please, sir." The rabbit jumped in fear, dropped the white kid gloves and the fan, and ran away into the dark as fast as he could. Alice took the fan and gloves. The hall was very hot, so she kept fanning herself while she talked. "Dear, dear, how strange everything is today. Yesterday everything was normal. I wonder if I have changed during the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I think I remember feeling a little different. But if I am not the same, the next question is, who am I? Ah, that is the big puzzle." And she started thinking about all the children she knew who were the same age as her, to see if she had become one of them. "I am sure I am not Ada," she said, "because her hair has long curls, and my hair has no curls at all. And I am sure I cannot be Mabel, because I know many things, and she knows very little. Also, she is she, and I am I. Oh dear, this is so confusing. I will try to see if I still know the things I used to know. Let me see. 4 times 5 is 12, and 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is... Oh dear, I will never reach 20 like this. But the multiplication table does not matter. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome, and Rome... No, that is all wrong, I am sure. I must have changed into Mabel. I will try to say, how doth the little... And she put her hands on her lap like she was saying a lesson, and started to say it. But her voice sounded rough and strange, and the words were not the same as before. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. How happily he seems to smile, how neatly spread his claws, and welcome little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. I am sure those are not the right words, said poor Alice, and her eyes filled with tears again as she continued. I must be Mabel after all, and I will have to go and live in that small house and have almost no toys to play with. And oh, so many lessons to learn. No, I have decided, if I am Mabel, I will stay down here. It will be useless if they put their heads down and say, "Come up again, dear." I will only look up and say, "Who am I then? Tell me that first." Then, if I like being that person, I will come up. If not, I will stay down here until I am someone else. But oh dear, cried Alice, suddenly starting to cry. I do wish they would put their heads down. I am very tired of being all alone here. As she said this, she looked at her hands and was surprised to see that she had put on one of the rabbit's small white kid gloves while she was talking. How can I have done that? She thought. I must be getting small again. She stood up and went to the table to measure herself next to it. She found that, as well as she could guess, she was now about 2 feet tall, and she was getting smaller quickly. She soon understood that the reason was the fan she was holding, and she quickly dropped it, just in time to stop herself from shrinking away completely. That was a close escape, said Alice. She was quite frightened by the sudden change, but very glad that she was still alive. And now to the garden. She ran as fast as she could back to the little door, but sadly, the little door was shut again, and the little golden key was lying on the glass table as before. And things are worse than ever, thought the poor child. I have never been so small as this before, never, and it is really too bad. As she said these words, her foot slipped, and in another moment, splash! She was in salt water up to her chin. Her first thought was that she had somehow fallen into the sea. And then I can go back by railway, she said to herself. Alice had been to the seaside once in her life, and she thought that everywhere on the English coast there are many bathing machines in the sea, some children digging in the sand with wooden spades, then a row of houses, and behind them a railway station. But she soon understood that she was in the pool of tears which she had cried when she was 9 feet tall. I wish I had not cried so much, said Alice, as she swam around, trying to find a way out. I will probably be punished for it now, by drowning in my own tears. That will be a strange thing for sure. But everything is strange today. Just then she heard something splashing in the pool not far away, and she swam closer to see what it was. At first, she thought it must be a walrus or a hippopotamus. But then she remembered how small she was now, and she soon saw that it was only a mouse that had fallen in like her. Would it be any use, thought Alice, to speak to this mouse? Everything is so unusual here that it might be able to talk. At least, there is no harm in trying. So she began. Oh, mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? I am very tired of swimming here, oh mouse. Alice thought this must be the right way to speak to a mouse. She had never done it before, but she remembered seeing in her brother's Latin grammar, a mouse, of a mouse, to a mouse, oh mouse. The mouse looked at her with some curiosity, and it seemed to wink with one of its little eyes, but it said nothing. Perhaps it does not understand English, thought Alice. Maybe it is a French mouse, come with William the Conqueror. Even though Alice knew some history, she did not really know when things had happened. So she began again. Où est ma chatte? Which was the first sentence in her French book. The mouse suddenly jumped out of the water and seemed to shake all over with fear. Oh, I am very sorry, cried Alice quickly, afraid she had hurt the poor animal's feelings. I forgot that you do not like cats. Not like cats? Cried the mouse in a high, angry voice.
Would you like cats if you were me?
Well, maybe not, said Alice in a calm voice. Do not be angry about it. But I wish I could show you our cat Dinah. I think you would like cats if you could see her. She is such a dear, quiet animal, Alice went on, half to herself, as she swam slowly in the pool. She sits by the fire and purrs nicely. She licks her paws and washes her face. She is very soft and nice to hold. And she is very good at catching mice. Oh, I am sorry, cried Alice again, because now the mouse was very angry, and she felt sure it was really upset. We will not talk about her any more if you do not want to. We indeed, cried the mouse, shaking all the way to the end of its tail. As if I would talk about such a thing. Our family has always hated cats. They are nasty, low, vulgar animals. Do not say that name again. I will not, said Alice quickly, wanting to change the topic. Do you like dogs? The mouse did not answer, so Alice continued eagerly. There is such a nice little dog near our house, I would like to show you. A small terrier with bright eyes and long curly brown hair. It brings things when you throw them. It sits up and asks for food, and it does many other things. I cannot remember all of them. It belongs to a farmer, and he says it is very useful. He says it is worth 100 pounds. He says it kills all the rats and— Oh dear, cried Alice sadly. I am afraid I have upset it again. For the mouse was swimming away from her as fast as it could, making a lot of noise in the pool. So she called softly after it. Dear mouse, please come back, and we will not talk about cats or dogs if you do not like them. When the mouse heard this, it turned around and slowly swam back to her. Its face was quite pale, with anger, Alice thought, and it said in a quiet, shaking voice, Let us go to the shore, and then I will tell you my story, and you will understand why I hate cats and dogs. It was time to go, because the pool was now full of birds and animals that had fallen into it. There were a duck and a dodo, a lory and a young eagle, and several other strange creatures. Alice led the way, and they all swam to the shore.